So, good morning, good evening, good night, good evening, and good night. What the hell?
Yeah.
Everyone, back again here with me, Rifqi, and
Hey, I'm historical enthusiast, Fale.
yeah.
And my name is Rifqi Purnama, also called as Steven, and I'm here as the historical analyst in this podcast.
Okay. So in today's history talk, we're gonna be talking about the life of a noble and royalty. I'm sorry,
Noble and
noble and
peasants.
peasants in medieval times. And we're gonna have a talk between a history enthusiast and a history scholar. So like, it's the same field, but like two different views.
Different views.
I guess.
Yes.
So
yes.
what the hell happened?
What the hell happened with what?
I don't know what happened. What happened in medieval times? What's so different between like the peasants and the nobles? Like the wood houses and the stone castles. What's so different about that?
Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna give like a brief information about the medieval ages. So the medieval ages starts at 9th century until the 15th century, right before the Renaissance.
Oh, so it's different times.
Yeah, so it's a different time with the Renaissance. So it's like it's a period between the fall of the Roman Empire and the start of the Renaissance, which is like the rebirth of a Roman Empire back into like European society, right? And so this period of medieval ages and kingdoms is usually very stereotyped by the lack of scientific discoveries, by the lack of really order in just every single part of Europe, and like it emphasizes on like the barbaric rule after the Roman Empire. Yeah,
see. So basically, dumb times.
yeah, it's something. Can you
Dumb
add something?
times.
I think not yet. It's really
Okay.
concrete.
Like. Okay, I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused. Like I
Okay,
don't
okay.
really know what happened there. Like why is it? Why is it barbaric?
Why is it barbaric? Well, technically, it's the Roman who said that it's barbaric, but it's actually just like a normal other like tribes of like Celtic and like other European tribe that is non-Roman basically. So
Ah.
it's still civilized, but like the pinnacle of science and modern technology at that time was Rome, and everything outside of Rome is like less developed than Rome. So basically, when we're talking about the medieval ages, we're just talking about how the system of feudalism is affecting the peasants and the nobles. Does anyone here familiar with the concept of feudalism?
Feudalism. It's like the basically tyrannical rule.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. It's true. It is tyrannical in some parts of Europe, but it's basically uh, so it's like landlord stuff, right?
Yeah.
So landlords have lands, and there's kings. Kings
Owns the land.
owns territory and gives the land to the landlord, or in this case we call it lords, right?
Oh,
And-
so
yeah.
there are kings, and then
Yeah.
there are people above the kings.
No, it's not above. They're like below, but like technically they're above, but like they pay allegiance to the king.
Ah.
So yeah, it's like a really shaky dynamic of power when kings has to abide by the majority of the lords, and lords has to swear fealty on the king. So it's like a double
It's very,
dynamic.
Very transactional.
Yeah, true. It is. It is characterized by a lot of like economic progress, but not really in the scientific part.
To be
What do you
honest, feudalism is, for my point of view, is kind of like there is a hierarchy where the difference between the lord, king, and the like another person, like society, and it's not good. I think because the lord and king is the richest getting more rich, and the like society like a servant like that is getting
Poor.
Oh, so it's no different than nowadays.
Yes.
kind of. Yeah,
and the
yeah.
feudalism is still like still using in our country, I think.
Technically, yeah.
It's
Though it's not really that clear.
Yeah.
It's not really that clear.
what else? What else? that we have to know about medieval times.
Do you have any other question that intrigued you?
Maybe their daily life.
Oh, what are the prominent figures that was living in the medieval times,
medieval
like the
times?
kings or like the scholars or the the people.
Well, that's the hard part. But that is the difference between me and Fale. I'm a historical analyst. I don't really analyze one singular person. I analyze
The whole thing.
series of events that leads to
Ah.
like the medieval ages. The Alfie knows a lot of like prominent figures, like probably Henry the Fifth, the King of England, and Sigismund, which is like the ruler of Holy Roman Empire. I think that's the only prominent feature that I
Okay,
know of.
Who, like, just tell me one of the most prominent figures in medieval times.
Medieval times. I think in the medieval time is it's not the people, but they're the Asian from medieval time is still what I can just say is relevant until this time. Like from movies, is there is movies that has like medieval core or even or daily life even or fashion is still using the
so like
medieval. Yeah. So I can say that it's on not only the king or lord or anything that being the famous people, but their
it's the
Asian.
entirety
Yeah.
of the medieval times.
Yeah, still relevant until now.
Oh, speaking about peasants, it is a fact that peasants back then has less working hour than the modern people we have today.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's not as that straightforward. So, majority of peasants that lives in the medieval times, they're like farmers, right? They're farmers and traders, and so what they primarily do is like they wait for a season where they will harvest crops, and that is probably the most prominent time they will have the working hour. From dusk till dawn, they will work cropping those fields up. But when it's winter or when it's like fall, they really don't do much since they only work when crops are in high demands. And so it's like a fluctuation like when in the almanac it's like spring or summer, it's like a high work, but like the rest is like no work
Just
at all.
chilling.
Yeah, just chill. Just chill.
Oh, not chilling. I mean, like in the
Yeah, just trying to survive.
Trying to survive.
Actually, yeah, it's trying to survive.
basically, party every spring and summer, and then just famine all over winter.
Technically, yeah, you really have to stock up foods on like winter and like fall even. It's really crazy.
But not for the noble, right? How different it is.
Oh,
Being
that
a
is so
peasant and a
different.
noble.
That is so different. First of all, this is what people get wrong in medieval time. Peasants rarely eat meat.
Oh.
Peasants rarely eat potatoes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense because, well, oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like, meat is pretty rare. What else? And they only serve it at Sundays in the church. Potentially just chicken, and they don't. The stereotype. Will Englishmen eat potatoes? Potatoes don't exist back then. They came in like the 15th century at the Renaissance too. And the difference with that, with the noble eats whatever they want. Meat, yes, meat. Vegetable, yes, vegetable. Still, but still, they really have all the luxury they have, but like not as much as the modern time. There's no spices back then, so it's just
I
meat
mean,
being cooked.
it's Europe.
Yeah, it's definitely it's
Europe.
It's
Like,
Europe.
what
of
do you
course.
want? What are the spices that came from Europe? Nothing.
Yeah. Would you live as a noble in medieval ages?
No, but it's kind of like I think it's kind of hard because like in right now, yeah, as what you said about the food, like if we live in medieval time and even in England, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to, in the winter, like we can say like England come to Indonesia because they want those rempah-rempah
Oh yeah, when the
for
colonization.
make them
Spices, right?
Yeah,
feel warm.
spices.
Ah,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
sure,
that makes
sure.
sense. That makes
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
sense.
turmeric stuff
That's
too.
it's kind of hard to like because in here we never like face this situation about the winter, and we already have food that have their taste, their own taste with the rempah-rempah, like English that come to us, Spanish that come to us. So yeah, I think
So
it's
you
kind
don't want to live as a noble in the medieval times.
yeah. Also, there's like
Same,
some
it's the same.
time like the feudal and
Yeah, the feudalism system.
feudal like that.
You know
It's
why? You know
still-
why I don't want to live as a noble or as a peasant?
Why?
Obviously, in the medieval times, they don't have Frank Ocean.
Frank
okay,
Ocean.
I guess.
Oh my god, they do probably have those version of like
Yeah.
in the medieval bards and stuff, right?
Oh, okay. So just Google like some of the interesting facts, interesting fun facts about
Yeah,
medieval
yeah, yeah.
life, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna ask you if this is true. Ask you guys if this is true or not. I'm a big that has correlation with our topic today. Speaking of, okay, as someone who works inside the castle without being a family,
Of the
of
royalty.
their royalty,
Uh-huh.
considered a noble, regardless of their work.
Regardless of the
Yes or
world.
no? Yes or no?
This is pretty. This is quite outside my expertise. I don't really
Yeah.
go into detail on that, but I think Europeans back then really value the difference
Family.
between families and non-families.
Oh,
That's why they have serfs. That's why they have like
that's why some of the kings in European are messed up.
yeah, some oh yeah, the Habsburg. That is true. That is true. Some of them really do
We're talking
inbreed
about
with some of
incest,
them.
guys.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's why they have titles for someone that actually has almost the same level of administration, but not but outside the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question is the fun fact. I'm gonna say the fun fact. The King of England in medieval times employed a special servant whose job was to attend to his majesty on the toilet and to assist the king in the use of his toilet paper. And they were called groom of the stool. Is that correct?
Oh, I don't really know about that. Maybe she knows that.
No. I don't go on the topic
Aw.
because yeah, I'm so
Well, it was
sorry.
fun. It's fun, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think it shows how work, how I don't know
Significant.
jobs
Yeah.
can be significant in some era, and suddenly it becomes like, just
Yeah, it's like normal.
it can be
thing.
replaced by
Replaced.
not even a technology. I mean, it's a technology.
Yeah.
It's been replaced by a bidet, water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
water.
Why
Oh
do they
yeah.
use water?
Drainage system.
Oh, yeah,
nowadays.
yeah.
We really taken for granted the drainage system
I know, right?
of the modern time. It was really crazy. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So I heard that in castles, the toilet in castles in
Mhm.
medieval times, they just go straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how noble.
Yeah,
How do
that's
I
how
say
that's
this?
how
How do I
they
say this without profanity? That's how noble.
Yeah.
go to the parties.
Go to the parties. They're
Yeah.
number 2, right?
There are some people whose job is to collect poops and then dump them on the river.
Okay, that's for nobles.
That's
How about peasants?
but they just
Do they just
Yeah.
everywhere?
not everywhere, but like probably preferably in a river still.
Yeah.
I
There's
mean-
still no hygiene.
I
But
mean, that's pretty convenient. No?
Yeah.
Like in the river, you can just it's two works in one time. No, you
Yeah.
just dip it in and then just take it out and then just let the water rinse it. I guess.
I guess really that really
Yeah,
speaks
but-
about how like the privacy in like the medieval ages is really minimal. There's no
Uh,
fun fact, people do more than one nap in the medieval time. So the
Oh,
first
really?
nap's like in the morning, and then they nap between work, and then they
Yeah.
continue the work again. And it's normal to sleep with other people in your bed in the medieval ages. So it really speaks to the privacy, the culture they have right there,
Okay.
at least in the western side of Europe.
There's a video that come to my timeline, and it's show me that at the time, medieval time, they will doing work, and it's not only one, but it's very crowded. Like
Oh,
there is a
God.
pledge,
Oh,
and
so like a
Communal.
communal area where just they doesn't have walls.
yeah, this doesn't have walls, and also they use like something to clean their yeah. It's like
Ah.
something like long, and there is
Oh, sponge.
yes sponge,
A stick
and
with a
they use
sponge.
it like
For
one to
everybody.
Yeah, they
another.
share
For
it.
everybody. Yeah, it's for
Ew.
everybody. It's so, and also like in the medieval era, if I'm not wrong, they use like what's called fan.
And
Hand
fan.
fan, yeah, hand
They
fan.
have that in Europe?
Hand fan.
Oh, they. I
We
don't know if
use
the dinosaurs
that.
are
It
not.
is because they not clean their body every day.
Oh, so it's like to
To
repel the
yeah,
body
and
odor.
they but perfume that nowadays is very
Scars.
yeah no perfume that scents has a like long lasting scents is from
Ah.
Europe, and
Oh, really?
yeah, because in that era they usually not cleaning themselves for
Oh,
a
so
day.
that's why they made
Yeah, so if you
scented
wanna
perfume.
if you wanna
Oh.
have a perfume that long
Uh-huh.
lasting and their scent
Like
is
Europe parfum.
strange
European
strange.
parfum.
Yeah, European
I didn't
parfum.
expect that
Oh.
really. I thought perfume came from like Asia or something. It's like it sounds like an Asian thing. It sounds like an Asian. But
That's
no,
why perfume
apparently
is-
it's Europe. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Something like
basically, everybody just thinks.
Yeah,
Medieval era.
thanks.
everybody.
Even-
The difference is just noble use perfume and peasant just
Peasants
thinks.
just don't. They just
Yeah.
stank all day.
Yeah, even I know a queen. I forget her name, but she just like take a shower only
Two times.
2 times in her life.
Oh.
First is
Oh.
when she get married with the king.
Oh. So she just sour whenever she gets married. That's all.
Yeah, that's why.
Ah, crazy.
I have another fun fact.
Yeah.
This is about the peasants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So peasants usually just do everything. Basically, I don't know, just trying to survive, trying to
Yeah.
make money, trying to survive. Not even
Yeah.
make
Basically,
money.
yeah, really.
I mean, living paycheck to paycheck, and some of them,
Yes.
amongst them, there are musicians and
Oh
bards.
yeah, bards.
Yes. And they said that most musicians in medieval, especially medieval England,
Uh-huh.
were seen as rogues and thieves, and they only allowed to perform inside a house while playing.
Whoa, whoa.
I know, right? It's stupid. Like what? So what's
Sounds like a D&D setting, really. Oh my god, we could talk a lot about D&D.
so like yeah? And then the silly thing is, the funny thing is, after they had performed,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they are they're required to like sleep, but
Yeah.
not in any place, but in stables. In the stables,
What?
on like
With
Huh?
horses?
in a barn. I know, right? It's
With the
stupid.
hair?
Like why?
Whoa, that's kind of concerning. Like the human rights there.
I know,
Oh
right?
my god, they just perform in front of the whole people and just sleep in a barn
I
with
know.
horses.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I think I don't really know the particular connection between bards and rogues. Maybe because they're like a very speakeasy person. They're very charming, so they can fool a lot of people. I think that's the easy part to say about bards and rogues. Really,
Yeah.
I don't know what else about that. Like I said, historical analyst, not really expert in this stuff.
So you're not that pro.
Uh, I'm more like a generalist.
Okay.
I don't just learn about medieval stuff. This person, however, ooh,
Okay.
crazy.
I'm gonna talk about social status. And I mean not social status. We were talking about land ownership, right?
Yeah.
Land ownership.
True.
I'm gonna ask both of you. So basically, land is owned by a landlord.
Yeah, landlords.
And landlords is not a noble.
They're a
Am
noble.
I-
They're a
am-
noble.
Oh, they are.
They have connection with the king.
They have connection with the
They
king.
have connection
So
with the king.
that makes them a noble.
That makes
in a
them
sense.
Yes, they're a noble.
So, correct me if I'm wrong.
Uh-huh.
So basically, if the land is owned by landlords and paid by the king,
Uh-huh.
does that mean that peasants doesn't have any lands? They just kind of live there.
Exactly. That is true. They do the land. They don't. It's not their land.
Okay.
They
So
do land.
basically peasants are slaves. That's what you meant.
Yeah, slaves, but
Like,
some rights.
how do I say this? Systematic slaves.
Systematic slavery.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
True. If it's really bad. It's if you can see it, like they treat peasants really badly.
How about you, Alfie?
Well, for my opinion, is sometimes like the
The dukes, yeah.
dukes and the lord is they sometimes maybe they not own the land, but sometimes if they got the money, like they will have a I forget what that gardening,
Gardening.
gardening in that place, or do something a business like that. They will be like riches.
Sound disturbed. What do you mean?
Ooh.
They will be riches and wealthy because as far as I know, for become a lord, you should be like being a part of wealthy person, wealthy
Ah.
family.
So basically, capitalism has always
Yeah.
existed,
Oh,
even in
shit.
medieval times.
Or if not that, you still like have a befriend with a person that is wealthy, and from that
And
wealthy person,
korupsi, kolusi, dan nepotisme. Oh my god, it exists in medieval times.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard. It's hard to
It's
get
hard.
out of the circle if
Yeah.
you're a peasant.
Yeah.
You usually become a peasant for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Really,
so well.
it's so rare to see the case of a peasant going up to be a noble. It's really rare.
So, if it's that hard to live inside within those lands for peasants, why didn't they just leave the
Revolt?
land?
Leave the land. That's the hard thing. Where do you go?
Yeah.
There's bandits. There's also other tribes that probably doesn't like you. Like I said, the medieval ages is symbolized by decentralization.
Ah,
So basically, you need someone to protect you, but the protection you have is owned by the lords and kings. So how? So where do you go? Where do you go? Who's gonna protect you? That's our part.
so
They're bound to that place. It's
So-
sad.
I guess it's that hard to live. as a
It is.
noble,
It is.
as a noble, and I don't know. I think, in my opinion, being a noble is not. It doesn't feel as lavish as the pop media
About media portrays.
portrays it.
Yeah, yeah, that
True.
is true. That is true. Like I said, medieval ages is like basically not trying to stereotype, but the best way to see it is like barbarians trying to make kingdoms. There's better one. Romans are better at creating kingdoms, creating empires. It's basically the after they sacked Rome, they was like, I think I can handle the world, but they just don't know how to do it yet. And
Also, just like the most loud and obnoxious people win.
yeah, and the most well, I mean, Rome is kind of battered anyway, so like it's ripe for the taking, really at that point. So yeah, and we became as prosperous as Rome only when the start of a Renaissance. So that's how long it took from the fall to.
How
back
long is
to-
that? How long is that? How long is the medieval times?
Like I said, the early one starts from 9th to 10th. The middle one is probably the longest. It's probably around 10th to 12th, and then the late medieval is like 12th to 4th to 15th, and then it's
Talking about
Renaissance.
medieval times. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was the dark? What is it?
Dark Age?
Not the dark. It's the Black Plague.
Ah, the Black Plague.
Was that? Did that happen in medieval times or after?
There is actually more than one cases of plague happening in Europe.
Okay.
Actually.
Black Death.
Okay, talking about plagues.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we had plagues,
We
and
had
like we had it so much easier.
Yeah. Vaccines.
I
Take
know,
it for
right?
granted. They
Yeah,
take-
we,
they take
we,
it for
we
granted.
got vaccines, the coronavirus.
Yeah,
We just
we take it for granted.
Yeah.
Really.
I know, right? We
How
just stay
valuable
home,
it is.
play
Yeah, stay home.
TikTok,
Please
making
TikTok.
what is it? Dalgona talk.
Dalgona. Dalgona.
Oh god! Oh god!
Something
yeah,
happened,
yeah,
like-
yeah.
So there were the medical tech, the
Mhm.
the medical world was not as advanced as
Oh
today's
no,
world.
it's
right?
not.
So
God, no.
people
This-
basically probably use like I don't know, that rats to cure some disease. Like they just mix everything in a.
People used to drill holes on people's head to get the evil spirits out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's crazy.
So what happened? Like plagues. I mean, if you think about it, plagues happen to everyone. Everyone like
No way.
nobles and peasants
Yeah.
got it.
God, yeah, the same, the
So
same.
what happened? What happened between them? What's so different if they both have it? Like there were no medical, I don't know, medical innovation.
Yeah, there were basically no.
No
So
advanced medical thing.
I think for me is that nobles they just accepted their fate. It's like they're poor, they have poor hygienes. They
Wait, nobles poor?
no. Oh wait,
Oh,
no
peasants,
peasants. My bad, my bad. Okay, so peasants they just basically accepted their death. There was a case where if someone was suspected of the plague, they just got locked in their house and they aren't able to go out. They die in that house
So they die with the plague.
with the plague in their house so that it won't infect any other people.
It doesn't make sense. The plague is still there.
It is still
probably,
there.
Probably being, I don't know, taken by flies or rats.
But I mean, yeah, science back then isn't really that advanced.
How about the nobles? How about them?
Maybe nobles, I don't really know.
Novels.
But
I think novels kind of more better than the medieval era.
Define more. Like how better is better for nobles?
And the novels is maybe because the technology, I guess, are how the king and queens like. As far as I know, is at the novels is that Elizabeth one.
Oh, Elizabeth, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Elizabeth.
she was from medieval times?
She was in medieval
Yeah,
time.
in medieval.
Elizabeth once.
Elizabeth the First.
The first?
Yeah.
First, yeah.
Wait. Who just died? Who? Young?
No, I think Elizabeth is after Henry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which is still
no,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry for
No, that's
Yeah,
fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's why we're here.
for
That's why
my
we're
uncultured.
here. That's why we're here.
Because as far as I know, is like in a novel there's no like condition that is really big like the Black Death.
In my opinion, no, not in my opinion. In my mind, it's not as different as peasants. I mean, you just die
In a lavish way.
in a lavish way. Yeah.
Lavish
In a
way.
you just
Fancy.
die in a fancier bedroom, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and probably if was religion a big part of medieval times?
Oh, it's really big. They believe in spiritual stuff
Oh.
more than science, really. But the irony is that most science is conducted in churches. Yeah, most science are conducted in churches.
Didn't they, you know, not allow sciences or like they consider sciences or like experiments as
Oh no, not
blasphemy?
really. That's a big misconception. People just don't care about science
Oh,
there. But science is still being
they
done in
don't
churches.
care or they don't have the time to care.
They don't have the time to
the
care.
energy to care.
Like I said, farmers they care about their crops.
Mm.
But monks, they read holy scriptures, they read the words of gods, and they can interpret it into scientific field. That's really interesting.
But monks itself doesn't have the help that they need.
Oh no, it's not
from
enough.
the
It's
noble.
not. It's not like they have what Elsevier. It's not like they have libraries.
I mean, like
or
money or like privileges from the nobles. Do they have that? So
Well-
monks are still considered peasants, no?
monks are considered pretty noblish because
Ah.
they carry a spiritual
Messages.
message and like role. Since
Oh,
the royals are pretty religious too.
so that means monks are often used as like propaganda machine for the nobles.
Exactly. There's been a lot of time. There's like a hegemony between the pope and like kings too
From that era.
from the medieval time. Yeah, really.
Which one is higher, the pope or?
Essentially the pope, but the pope doesn't govern.
Oh, so the pope just like
Governs the church,
governs the church,
but and how
but
you
the king
be
looks up to.
Yeah, looks up to the church. You get coronation in the church. It's just like it's a power dynamic.
So, personally, I'm glad that I didn't live in.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can say the same.
I get talking about medieval times in Europe. Is there like, especially in the peasants, is there like internalized hegemony there? Within the peasants, not the nobles, like peasants they have their own world,
Uh-huh.
obviously. So,
Yes.
was there any community within the peasants that has like that governs each other within the world of peasants?
I don't.
The hegemon. Do they have that?
I don't think so. I guess hegemony exists in every single person, right?
Yeah.
I know hegemony exists in families, like
Yes.
especially like in patriarchal families.
Mm-hmm.
But within the peasants itself, do they have that?
I guess they do. I mean, when you're a peasant, you try your best to be better than other peasants, I guess, even
Yes.
though you're still a peasant. There's signs of communities of peasants, like farming communities, fishermen communities, traders communities. There have been a lot of that.
So basically, preman.
Guilds.
Oh yeah, guilds.
Yeah, guilds.
Within
There are a lot.
guilds, is it noble thing or
No, still
everyone
peasant.
thing?
It's still peasant. It's still peasant. It's run by peasant. Depends on the guild. There's like noble guild, just like peasant guild.
Okay. This is I don't think it's related with Crusaders. Was it from the medieval era?
Ooh, yeah. Crusaders are from medieval. How many crusades have been there? 3, 4, fourth crusade?
Four. I think
Four.
Okay, wait. How many crusades?
How many
I mean,
crusades?
there are a lot.
Oh, there are-
8. There are
eight
crusades.
crusades in the span of the medieval ages. Yeah.
Okay, tell me about crusades. Why?
Crisis.
Okay, I don't know if I'm going to sound anti-Semitic, but was it that violent? Crusades?
Was it that violent? There are some crusades that is like not as violent, but crusades are generally about conquering, about a mission from the Pope to conquer like foreign lands for like a religious mission, something like that. So you can really see, it is very crucial. Sometimes crusaders loot, sometimes they take people away to be slaves, sometimes they kill families too, in the name of the god, of course.
In the name of the gods, they
In
kill
the name of their god.
How ironic.
Really, how ironic.
Religion, am I right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Which of the crusades do you know the most? Or do you not know?
The ones that I know the most is probably the one where they ransacked Byzantine Empire, even though Byzantine is a Christian kingdom. It's really funny.
So Christian
So
conquering
Christian
Christians.
conquering Christians.
It's weird, you know.
Yeah,
it's weird the dynamic
Very
of
weird.
life and the medieval times and how they do their thing is very weird. Especially like the difference between peasants and nobles. It's kind of ironic.
Mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
Indeed.
Yeah. So probably that's it from us guys from today's
Yeah.
story talk. Thank you for listening. Have a great day and bye.
Bye.